What's up, people? Welcome to our very first episode of a brand new series where we are going to interview international students and recent graduates and ask them about their life as an international student in Australia. In all honesty, I have been wanting to do this for a while now. I have been talking about it, but finally we are releasing this project. Every Sunday, we're going to release an interview with an international student and we're going to ask them why they chose their university, how did they get their part-time job, how is the scope of that specific field, so that you can make a better decision. Today, we have Maulik Desai with us. Maulik has graduated from Swinburne University. He has studied Masters of Business Information System. And Maulik has practically done everything. He got a perfect score in his first semester. He got a part-time job in his field, which is IT. He participated in extracurricular activities and he converted his part-time job into a full-time job. And in this interview, we are asking him how he did what he did. So, check it out. Before we get into the interview, we have to let you know that if you're into podcast, we are releasing all these stories on Spotify, Apple Podcast, Google Podcast, or wherever you like to listen to podcasts. So if you like to listen to podcasts, go there and subscribe to Internash. If you find these stories helpful, don't forget to hit the like button and share these stories with as many people as possible. Let's get into the interview. Thank you so much, Maulik, for taking out the time and joining this video because we want to know how your whole journey has been.
Thank you so much for having me. I have been following you and Internash, and even when I was in India, I used to follow this a lot, and this has helped me to actually make my journey easier in Australia.
Amazing. And you are just about to make other people's journey easier. So that's the right thing to do. But let's get started. So the first thing that I want to know is why did you choose Swinburne University? Because there are so many options. Even if we talk about just Melbourne, there are G8 universities, Deakin University, La Trobe, Swinburne, everything. And why did you choose Swinburne University and how has been your experience there?
So actually one of the major reasons for choosing Swinburne was that I got an extremely good scholarship option at Swinburne.
Okay.
And another thing is that I did quite a lot of research before actually zeroing down on Swinburne. So I had offers from Monash, even Group of 8 universities, and Deakin and La Trobe as well. But the most promising thing was that I went onto LinkedIn and I actually had a chat with a lot of alumni and current students, and most of them had a positive outlook towards Swinburne. Right. And the one thing that was a differentiating factor for me personally was that there's a website known as QILT where they review all the graduate satisfaction surveys and experiences of students, and Swinburne was always in the top category of that.
Wow.
So that became much more easier to make a concise decision that Swinburne is the way to go for my master's.
That is brilliant. So you talked to a lot of people before choosing a university. You read about reviews of different universities. And then the third thing was who's giving how much scholarship? That was another question that you asked. And based on all these things, you chose Swinburne. That sounds pretty good. But how has been the whole experience at Swinburne?
Swinburne has been amazing. I love it. First of all, it is near to Glenferrie Station, so you just have to get down on the Glenferrie Station and you are at Swinburne. So the other portion about the Swinburne is that it's a small university, and so everyone knows everyone. So you get to interact with a lot of people from other disciplines as well and other courses as well, and you get to learn a lot from them. And that is something that I will cherish throughout my life, because the proximity of meeting new people becomes much more easier if the university is small and concise.
That is really interesting, because a lot of people are I want to study in a university that is so big and so massive. And this is totally different perspective, but it totally makes sense. So you came in February 2019. When was the time that you got your first part-time job?
So I got my first part-time job in August 2019. Okay. But in my first semester, I made a decision that I did not want to opt for a part-time job because I wanted to concentrate on my academics at that point, because studies was pretty different from what I had learned back in my home country at that point. And it was more oriented towards research and learning how to conduct research, basically learning how to reference stuff. And so that's the reason I was like, I will take a backseat this semester, and then I started applying.
Right. So you studied for the whole first semester, and you said you got the perfect score. Is that right?
Yeah, that's right. So I had a perfect 4 GPA in the first semester, and that was a surreal feeling because I had never seen that grades. And like in India, I actually had 13 backlogs before in
Wow.
engineering. So that transition from being a student who was thought that he can't make it in life to getting
Yeah.
a perfect 4 GPA, it was just a real moment for me.
That is brilliant, man. So you got a perfect score in your first semester, and then you started applying for jobs, and
Yeah,
then you got a job in August 2019. Can you just tell us the whole process? How you got,
yeah,
because your part-time job was in your field, right?
yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
So initially, I started applying at other places. Like I also tried to go into 7-Eleven, and the fun fact is I actually got rejected in 7-Eleven.
Okay.
So so I applied at a lot of places, and I got a hell lot of rejection. So just to give you a quantum, I might have applied at 300, 350 places
Wow.
and got rejected in all of them. And then I just made a decision to change my approach. So what
Right.
I did was that I had a LinkedIn profile, but I improved my LinkedIn profile. And apart from that, what I did was that LinkedIn has a program known as the mentorship program, where every week they give you a new mentor based on your field of interest. And once I got that, I was just message them again. That is cold messages. So
Right.
some of them replied, some of them did not reply. And then I got 2 or 3 people to give me interviews and just have a cup of coffee. That
Wow.
okay, how to get into the field. And when I was meeting one of the person who is an ex-CIO of Oracle, so at that point I met that person, and I actually went with finding bugs in his website.
Okay.
And then I was like, okay, this is an interview, but this is what I found out.
Right.
And when he knew that okay, this person knows what he's talking about, then he offered me a job at that point, that
Right.
you can
And
take
that's
care
how
of
you
my.
got your first part-time job.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
Awesome. How long did you do that job for?
I did that job for around 2 months. And after that, actually, there was an initiative in our university known as the Winter Impact Scholars.
Okay.
So it was actually started by Dr. Jason Sargent, our course director.
Right.
And this was one of the, as discussed earlier, one of my research outcomes, that because he is very prominent in our field. So I
Right.
wanted to work with him closely, and this was my opportunity. So I gave up that job, and I started with Winter Impact Scholars, and then I became the like team lead for Winter Impact Scholars and the project manager as well. So
Okay.
we were at any given time I was handling around 6 projects that were international projects. Like one of them was we were trying to create education passport for countries like South Africa, where they don't have any documentation or any physical form of results that can be
Right.
used to get into Australian universities.
Right. So
So
these projects were part of your university.
yeah.
So you
So
left your part-time job, and then you wanted to work with this renowned person in your field, and that's why you gave up your part-time job and started working as, was that a paid job, or that was just an initiative you were part of?
no, that was just an initiative that I was part of.
Okay.
But the amount of exposure that was giving me, because I was meeting a lot of industry persons who were prominent at that point. So
That's amazing.
every week I was meeting someone or the other, and it's just a 23-year-old kid getting to meet with a lot of people who are influential in the field. You can't put a price on that thing.
That is true.
So
That is true. No, that is exactly the point that I wanted to make, which is like a lot of times we run after the short-term goal, which is like the money and paying rent and etc. And then all of those things are super important, but we have to make sure that we are not missing out on the larger picture.
yeah,
So then you are in this initiatives, and you're
yeah.
part of this initiatives. You are the team lead there. Did you take another part-time job throughout your course?
Yeah, so that is the thing. So in Winter Impact Scholars, I actually ended up working with a company known as Aspire, and I was so there was our CEO Cam, and I tell him our CEO because I'm also currently working with them.
Okay.
So I was their first employee at that point,
Right.
and then I got even after the program was completed, he was like, I want to retain you. So then he offered me a part-time role, and
Wow.
then after that part-time role, it has been an amazing journey. So from starting with one employee, currently we are 11 of us, and it's just
Wow.
amazing.
So then you have been working throughout your course, which is like all 4 semesters. So
Yeah,
primarily like last 2 semesters, you have been working in the company that you're working in right now. Got
yeah,
a part-time job there while you were studying.
yeah.
And did you ask them for a full-time job now that you're graduating?
Yeah, so we are in conversation, deciding bit of commercials, but most
Right.
probably I will join them. But
Wow.
yeah,
Congratulations, man.
yeah, thank you so much.
That is the ideal case scenario, like coming to another country, doing really well in your studies, and
Yeah,
then getting a part-time job in your field, and then just like doing well academically and in university projects, getting another part-time job which you convert into a full-time job. That is amazing, man. So what would be your tips for people who want to convert their part-time job into full-time job?
first of all, I would say that it's all about the hustle and what you bring to the table. So don't treat your part-time job as just another part-time job. Just think of yourself as the part of the company, and you want to make them grow. If you are working in sales, then how? Just come up with ideas that how do we increase the sales revenue for the company? Or if you are into marketing, then how can you make a better web presence for them? You have a marketing company right now, so you must be knowing that better.
Yeah.
So that's where I think the difference, that's the differentiating factor, that extra mile of effort. And
Right.
that's how they, and the good thing about Australia is that it's an equal playing ground for everyone. So if
Right.
you have the right set of talent, skills, and if you are able to prove yourself, then the sky is the limit here. So
Right.
I have seen a lot of people that have a perception that it's extremely difficult. I won't say it's easy, it's extremely difficult. As I told you earlier, I had to face a lot of rejection before getting an iota of success. But that's the thing, that what we can do is that just we can keep on pushing ourselves.
That's
Yeah.
so good, man. So this is the last question that I ask everybody. So what is your tip for somebody who's planning to come to Australia or somebody who's doing the course that you are studying?
So if someone is trying to come to Australia, I would first of all say come with an open mind, come with a clean slate, because it's a new country. You will have to adapt to it, and you will have to also learn about it. At the same time, just don't concentrate on studies. It's a beautiful country. Roam around, meet new peoples, and you will love the culture. You'll love the people around. And third, and the most important thing is, don't be afraid to ask questions here, because
Uh-huh.
everyone will entertain your questions. And it might be extremely stupid questions, or it might be extremely intelligent questions, but everything is entertained in the class, and no one is going to laugh at you. And don't have that inferiority complex. So you know me very well, actually, but I had that. I was not good at conversations initially, and I was afraid that certain people might not understand my accent, or
True.
I might not able to pitch my ideas.
Right.
And I actually ended up pitching our company at Latrobe Accelerator program. And
Wow.
yeah, yeah. So I think that eventually it's just about communication. Everyone understands you. Everyone will welcome you with an open arms. Just be, just make the most out of it. I would say the journey will be amazing.
Amazing, man. Thank you so much for all the wise words and sharing your experience. I'm sure that experience is the key because we learn from other people, even since when we are a kid. So, thank you so much for sharing your whole journey with us.
Yeah, all good. Always love to be a part of Internash and contribute to your growth and your journey,
Awesome, man.
because initially when I was searching for Australia, you have a lot of YouTube channels or based on US and Canada, but in Australia I could only find International at that point. And you are approachable, and everyone
Yeah.
was approachable on the even on your Facebook group, and that helped me a lot to get over that, understand that okay, how the things are operating in Australia even before coming to Australia.
Amazing, dude. Thank you so much. We loved having you on this channel and thanks for sharing your journey. Hope you loved the interview, guys. We would love to know who do you want us to interview. So write that in the comment section. Which course do you want to know about? Which city do you want to know about? Or which university would you like to know about? If you haven't hit the subscribe button, hit the subscribe button and turn on the notification bell. If you haven't liked this video, like this video and share this video with your friends. See you in the next video.